Live from New York, it's Ask an Engineer.
Hey everybody, and welcome to another wonderful, amazing, best ever Ask an Engineer. Each one is better than the last. I'm Miss Lady Ada. I'm the engineer, founder, Adafruit. That's where we're at. We're at the Adafruit factory. It's where we're broadcasting live from downtown Manhattan. This is real meat, us. We're here.
50,000 square feet of engineering superpowers.
Electronics and mechanics and robotics and all sorts of cool stuff. And with me, Mr. Lady on camera control. And we've got an exciting show for you tonight. So we got to roll right into it because it's jam-packed.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
And there's not actual jam. I mean, I love jam. There's no jam, but it's packed full of electronics. Yeah. It's electronics packed. All right. Anyways,
Yeah. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
On tonight's show, the code is M0. 10% off all the way up to 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. Don't forget. Show and tell. People around the world showing and sharing their projects with us.
It's exciting.
We'll go over all of them. We had a full house and then some.
12 people.
We had to empty the glass before we could fill it.
I don't know that.
It's a philosophical thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Pack the mailbags and stop by. Adafruit Jobs Board, the best place online to post your skills and also get a job to cool maker company. We've got time travel, wearables, 3D printing, big news in the world of Raspberry Pi. We got a ton of new products. We're going to answer your question, a trivia question, all that and more on Ask an Engineer.
Woo!
Yeah, it's happening. Okay, well, first off, let's pay some bills.
Okay.
Don't forget the code. M0, all the way up to 11:59 p.m. tonight.
0.
Yeah. All right. A couple other things. We have some free deals going on right now. The free deals are a little bit different.
Ooh.
A little bit different.
Are you paying attention? Because it's changed.
There's something that's different. There is a special limited edition DigiKey plus Adafruit PCB ruler, just like our PCB ruler, but this is a DigiKey
Gorgeous
plus
red.
Adafruit in red. So, Lady Ada, while I do some things here, maybe you can read what the free deals are.
Okay, the free deals are amazing. We have so many free deals. First up, if you buy $100 or more of goods in your cart, you get a free Adafruit Proto half-size breadboard PCB. Very, very useful. And then for $150 or more, you get an Adafruit Trinket 5-volt, like the coolest ATtiny85 Arduino compatible. If you order $200 or more, you get free trackable UPS ground, continental US. And then for $250 or more, you get a free Pro Trinket 5-volt. Remember, if you order $250 or more, you get all the above in addition. So you can get like all that stuff. If you order $250, you get the Trinket, the Proto, the UPS ground. And then, in addition, there's also this awesome DigiKey ruler in red. It's a co-design with DigiKey. We designed them. We're giving them away. They're into it. You love DigiKey. You love Adafruit. We're a partner. Check it out. $125 or more, you will get this added to your cart for free. So yeah, you can actually get 5 free items, 5 free things for orders $250 or more, as long as we have them in stock. While supplies last, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay. All right. So that's the freebie deals that are going on right now. Okay. And we probably won't do these again. So
one time.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, if you're in New York City, we have same day. It's working out pretty well. A lot of people used it during the Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Bonanza. They used it. We had it. Yeah.
Still available.
Yeah. And then holiday shipping times. Just a reminder, this is what's going on with that.
It's getting more important as the days get shorter and Christmas.
Want to read some of these while I do
Absolutely.
some odds and ends here?
So don't forget, a lot of people want to get Adafruit stuff for gifts for the holidays. That's awesome. We would love to help you by selling you cool things as gifts. However, you want to make sure that you get your gift in time, especially if you're trying to gift it on Christmas Day. So if you would like to ship by UPS ground, you should order by December 11th. Now, UPS ground is not a guaranteed date delivery, but if you order by December 11th, there's a pretty good chance you're going to get it by December 24th. You can also order UPS 3-day, get that order in by 11 a.m. December 17th, 2-day, 11 a.m. December 18th, UPS overnight on Monday at 11 a.m. December 21st. And the reason we do ship same day to the best of our abilities if you order 11 a.m. or earlier. However, you want to give yourself an extra day or two. There could be delays outside of our control, weather, airport closings, snow, UPS unable to pick up for some reason because of blizzard or rain. Give yourself a couple extra days. Don't wait till the day before. No guarantees. And also the overnight guarantees are from UPS are not in place for that week before Christmas because everybody is doing the same thing as you, waiting the last minute. And then for USPS first class and priority orders, also December 11th is when we suggest you order by. It's not guaranteed, and it's not really trackable, so UPS is better. And then international orders, we can do UPS International Express. Please order as soon as possible if you want to get it. For international UPS, we also have those on the shipping page if you want to look at the details for international. Basically, the sooner the better so that you can get your stuff in time.
Okay.
Please, make it easy on everybody.
All right, and a programming note, you are watching Ask an Engineer. This is every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and we just did Show and Tell, which is 7:30 p.m. also every Wednesday Eastern Time. We have the Desk of Lady Ada, which we've been doing. We're broadcasting on Twitch right now.
It's
in
me.
addition to doing that.
It's at my desk.
That's a lot of fun. We do that. We did a special 2 a.m. broadcast when we launched the Pi Zero.
That was last week.
Yeah, and then we built a Heathkit live.
That was
right
2 days in a
now,
row?
we're currently broadcasting on 5 networks. So we have
They're all around us.
We have YouTube, we have Ustream, we have Periscope, Meerkat, and Twitch.
Okay.
So we are the only show. I used to say we're the only electronic show that does XYZ. We're the only show that I know of that does all of those things. So if we were competing with the big brands and the big shows out there that do any type of live, even like sporting events, because there's so many rules you can't do that, we're broadcasting across all these different things. So believe it or not, and the mobile usage is through the roof. So people that are wherever they are in the world, maybe they're somewhere and they really don't have access to a lot of cool stuff to do. They can tune in and watch the show. Mm-hmm. Anyways, so it's going on. Hello.
Hey, hello.
Yeah,
hello.
we have all sorts of things.
Also
and
cameras.
for the first time that I'm aware of, there's a device back here that if you look in the back, that is a 360 camera. We'll see how that works out. I'm going to upload the footage later.
Okay.
So this is one of those cameras that you can look around 360 what's going on.
Is it that
right now.
black thing?
It's right there.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
that thing, yes.
Yeah, it's
Hi.
hidden.
Ooh,
Yeah. So we
right
got
in
that
front
going
of me.
on. Okay. So let's keep going.
That's what we're doing, yeah.
Show and Tell, Lady Ada.
Show and Tell. Okay, I'm going to zip through these.
Yeah, every week we've been doing this for the last, 5 years or so, 4 or 5 years. People around the world show and share their stuff. They show it to you. What did they show this week?
Okay, this week we had Tony DeCola, who's showing off a to-be-released project. It's using the Raspberry Pi with our RGB matrix hat and displaying the HDMI frame buffer on that. Very cool if you want to just have something playing on HDMI and then it mirrors to the frame buffer. That's kind of cool on the RGB matrix. Noah and Pedro have a very exciting 3D Thursday. Tomorrow is apparently International 3D Printing Day, so they're going to have an exciting show, jam-packed with stuff. They designed a Pi Zero case. They designed that before they had the Pi Zero, and they got it today, and they tested it and tweaked it, but they say it's good to go. And they have a really cool headphones with BLE, LED ring thing going on. They're going to be showing off. Check out the video to see that. And, of course, check out 3D Thursday tomorrow at 3 p.m. right here at Adafruit. Richard Albertin came in with an 8x8 Neo Matrix that's controlled by a Metro, and he has it displaying lovely little miniature GIFs. And it had a GIF of me, and you could tell because it was half pink. Andrew showed off a project that he talked about last week, which was an animatronic skull that was designed and programmed by him and a scouting troop that he guides. It's adorable. Tucker had a couple projects, a little buddy mini robot LED face made with a perma-proto, showed off the Fritzing PCB file that was sent off to Fritzing to generate a custom DIY Arduino. That's cool. And the interface for that, as well as a Raspberry Pi server and a really old camera. It's not that old. It's like a VHS camera, I think. Seth is working on his robot friend and is working on the motor legs, so installing the motors into the legs. Chris Young had a very interesting accessibility project. This is one more interesting project I've ever seen on Show and Tell. iOS 9 has the ability to have accessibility keys, and so he made a custom, easy-to-use remote using the Bluefruit LE for people who want to be able to basically control an iPad without having to touch the screen. You can use these keys to control the interface. That's in iOS 9. Aiden it designed a parametric tubing adapter for soft robotics. He's going to be blogging it, so check that out. Ryan had a bunch of projects. Pi Zero, he got one. He stayed up late with us, I guess, and watched us, and then won a Pi Zero, got a Pi Zero. He also has a Raspberry Pi robot rover and an awesome magazine collection that he got from a professor, a substitute teacher that came in. Lally has a power measurement board that he designed, and he measured the Gemma. How much current does it take? You have to go out and watch the show and tell video to find out. And C. Scott has the Model B synth with patch cables, and he played some tunes.
Okay. All participants on the show and tell get an As Seen on the Show and Tell sticker. It's one of the coolest things that you can have on your projects and more. To get on the show and tell, all you have to do is go to google.com/+Adafruit, look for the posts that we do each week, and then also comment so we can add you to the circle and also send out the invite, and then show up at 7:30, look for the link that we post, and then also we do our best to get the invites out. Google's changing the way they do Hangouts. Keep up the best you can. It's a lot of fun. It's my hobby. Okay, next up. Mailbag. Back in Mailbag. All right, these are the emails and letters and all sorts of things that we read to the entire company every single week in our all-company meeting called State of the Fruit. And this week, this is the one.
Hi,
This is from Eric. Hi, I don't need any help with an order or anything. I just want to thank the entire team, especially but not limited to Lamore and Phil for being awesome. Also, thanks for entertaining me on a daily basis with interesting blog posts. Have a great day, Eric. Thank you, Eric.
No
That's
problem.
nice.
Our pleasure.
Okay, next up, help wanted. This is the Adafruit jobs board, adafruit.com/jobs. It's the one place in the world that you can freely post up your skills as a maker. And anybody can be a maker, turns out. And you can put up your skills, and then also companies that are looking for cool makers. In fact, a very cool 3D printing company just emailed me and said, we're looking for an engineer to do this type of like prototyping thing. I'm like, try the jobs board, and it's like, oh yeah! Perfect. So we have a pretty good
synergy,
80% plus like hit rate.
Oh yeah.
When someone who's a company posts up looking for a maker job, a maker person, they find it. They find the person for them,
Cool.
and it's worked out. Okay. So this week, this is the job. This person is Jen, and Jen is the owner of a timing company. I time road races and other endurance events. We just started this year and growing, could use another LED mile marker clock, but they're ridiculously expensive for what little they do. Can someone tell me how to build one? Or can you build one for me at a reasonable cost? Weatherproof or resistant, can sit on a tripod. This may turn into several clocks in the future. If one clock turns out okay, please email me for more info. Electronumerics.com. That's cool because you can do all that stuff with Adafruit parts right now, including
We even have the tripod adapters. We put those in.
adapters. So that's that. Okay.
And we have the weatherproof boxes that big enough.
Yeah.
They're definitely big enough for our 7-segment displays. You could build this all Adafruit stuff.
If you post up in the jobs board, it's free. Lady 8 and I approve all of them. There's no spam, never.
No headhunters.
No headhunters, nothing weird.
Recruitment.
Yeah. Okay. Let's keep moving. Open source hardware. So this is the segment where I'm just starting to put news because we're an open source hardware company. So this is kind of neat. Time Magazine on stands now, right now. If you turn to page 140, this is the magazine. You won't see Lady Ada in Time Magazine yet. I hope they do that one day. They actually, they
haven't covered Adafruit.
Yeah, well, you don't test well, I've heard. Yeah, they don't really feature lady engineers. Big magazine problem lately. But this is Time Magazine, and if you read the story on page, 104, the man who brought down Volkswagen. Very cool story. Everybody heard about the emissions issues. And if you go to page 104, you'll see Adafruit stuff. So they used Adafruit stuff to catch all the emission shenanigans. Is that a
Yes, that's the correct use of the word shenanigans.
When you talk about Volkswagen's emission problems, do you say shenanigans?
These are shenanigans.
Volkswagen shenanigans.
They were shenanigans.
That word's like this long.
But it's what it was.
Yeah, that word gets a lot of
because they because they were sneaky.
Yeah.
They were
So
trying
anyways,
to trick this
so
shenanigan.
Adafruit in the news. I'm glad no one's using our parts for other stuff. They're using it to help the environment.
This is for justice. I approve.
Yeah, good cause. Okay, next up. So Heathkit. A year ago, I wrote an article called "The Electronic History Mystery," and go to the site. If you search for Heathkit on Google, you'll see our article. It's a couple links down. And basically, Heathkit went away. They were a kit builder. They were a business. very well known in the 50s and 60s. A lot of people got their start in electronics who were of that age, and they went away. Company went bankrupt, it was sold, all sorts of different things, and then they kind of reemerged, sort of, saying they're going to come back, and then they never did. And so then I wrote an article a year after they did a Reddit Ask Me Anything, and I'm like, what happened? And still a lot of loose ends, a lot of questions. However, very recently in October, they said we have a kit. And I think I was one of the first people. I know for sure I'm the first person to receive one, has posted up online, for sure. And then we built it together, and we did it on Twitch and YouTube Live and all these things. And here it is.
2.5 hours later.
This is what I believe is one of the first Heathkits in the last 30 years, and it's an AM radio, and no judgments or anything as far as this is something that you should spend $150 on. We're only talking about the fact that it's here in our hands.
Do you want me to take it out and show it on the overhead a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I just got the overhead going while we were...
I forgot to bring speakers.
No, it's okay. All right, overhead's there. So there it is.
All right, so I'm going to show this off. So it's an AM radio, and you use headphones. Sorry. You can turn it on, but then you have to use headphones to plug it in, so you use powered speakers to listen to it, and there's also an audio output jack. It has this like kind of neat half-mirrored backing. You can see through it. It's just tough with the camera because of the lighting, but you can kind of see inside, so it's kind of neat. And then this is something here is patent pending. I don't know what AM radio got patented in the last year, but whatever. And then you can slide out the board. Okay, and so what's interesting about this design is it's an air-tuned capacitor, and it runs on a couple of AAA batteries, and you can see this LED that lights up, and it has sort of a one-chip AM radio receiver, and then a diode, and then a transistor, probably an amplifier. And it absolutely works. We were listening to some tunes. You can watch the video and you can hear us listening to some tunes.
Yeah.
And what's neat is it's solder free. There's no soldering. Instead, what you do is you fit the components through these like fairly large holes. Like they're about 0.1 inch diameter holes. And then you bend the wire out and then screw a machine screw and hex nut onto the bottom. And that's how you make the contact, then you just clip the lead afterwards. So it's kind of interesting. It's not a sort of a standard way to put together kits. Usually you solder kits, but with this one you use a screwdriver and pliers. So there's no soldering at all, completely cold assembly.
So a couple weird things about all this Heathkit stuff.
Yeah.
Lady Ada is pure and amazing and open source and amazing giving person. I'll be the bad guy.
You're gonna be the bad guy?
He pointed at me and called me the bad guy.
You're
I'm gonna be the bad guy. Here's the thing that is a little weird. So the manual that it comes with in the letter says your manual is very personal to you. It contains your personal product and account access data. Be sure not to share it with others. It contains your private data. So they put a serial number across this, and on every page it says copyright Heathkit at least 4 times. And then on the...
But don't you know you have to put the copyright notice 4 times, or it doesn't activate?
Yeah, and then on the kit itself it says patent pending on this metal box, which is in the chat. Someone said like patent. What is it exactly? Patent.
It can be a design patent, by the way. By the way, it doesn't have to be a utility patent. It could just be like, the shape of the box.
Yeah,
and
then on the PCB it says copyright. So one of the things that's a little interesting is the people
it says
the people who own Heathkit now seem to be very, and when I talked to them last year, very intellectual property motivated, saying like patents and copyright and trademark is the lead story. And
the quiz should be, is it possible to copyright a circuit design?
Yeah.
No, it's not, but it isn't, by the way. You can't copyright
and it says the product described in this manual is patent pending in the United States and internationally as of the date of this publication. So they're saying this AM radio is patented internationally.
What's ironic is, of course, they're like, oh, this is designed from like the 50s. I mean, they had an LED, right?
So I got this letter from Andrew, the president. They're very secretive about who owns Heathkit.
If you would like $150 patent pending AM radio, you can get this kit.
why did you buy this, Phil? It's a piece of history, and I wrote an article a year ago. So I'm really happy that I got it in the mail because I was supposed to get it by November 7th, and it showed up November 30th. So
it is kind of cool looking.
It is neat. I have to say, it's cool, and it's going to go on my shelf of my next computer stuff and all the cool, like, kind of retro.
This is very history. You love like weird history, so this is totally your.
This is super weird history.
This is weird history because this is the first new Heathkit in at least 20 or 30 years.
So open invitation to the Heathkit folks. Would love to re-interview you and talk about this.
You have them on the show and tell.
Yeah, come on the show and tell.
They could wear like paper bags over their heads.
Yeah, or something. I know you guys are super secretive about who you are and what's going on, but anyways, it's arrived. It's here.
All right.
And
if somebody out there, by the way, if you've built one of these, or you've got one of these kits, like send us a photo. We'd like to. We'll start a social network.
I want to be
Heath Kids.
I want to connect with others. I want to connect with.
You want to connect with the brand?
I want to connect with this brand.
Okay.
Okay. All right, let's keep moving. Good news. You ready?
Yeah.
Adafruit.io is pretty much open for everybody. Go for it.
Whee!
Big news. Go to adafruit.io and you can use the Internet of Things.
Yay! When we have hardware, now that we have the Feather Huzzah, especially, which is an excellent board to use with Adafruit.io and MQTT, we are constantly fixing bugs and issues.
You want knobs.
You want text.
You want charts. You want maps. Adafruit.io has it.
We have it. Check it out.
Go for it. Go to adafruit.io. It's basically open. We are figuring out, so the hardware that you buy at Adafruit pays for things like Adafruit.io. We will have another tier of access and usage. Mm-hmm. Right now we're in beta.
Right now it's still beta. Yeah, we're still fixing bugs and stuff, making it perfect.
Next up.
As possible.
Adafruit Learning System. We have how many tutorials? You want to take a guess?
890-ish?
Yeah, 892.
892?
Yeah, okay.
So we're heading towards 900.
Yeah.
Do I get a cake when we hit 900?
Yes.
Yes. I love cake.
You get a recipe on how to make a cake.
No!
Because it's a learning system. You get it. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Anyways.
What do you got going on?
All right. This is a V2 tutorial. One of the neat things is we've been doing stuff for so long. It's been like 10 years. We can actually go back and redo older projects, and it's like we can really improve on them. So this is a remake of the Firewalker sneakers, one of the top hits from Adafruit from, I think, two and a half years ago. The original one was made with a Flora and a piezo-sensitive film, a piezo-resistive film as a sensor. This version uses a vibration switch and a gemma, so it's much less expensive to build, a lot simpler to get going. You don't have to calibrate a sensor. Also, a couple of tips that we learned about how to deal with sneaker bending was integrated into this project. So it's a great remake.
Okay.
And people have been asking for it too. They want to make it with gemma. Next up, this is a 3D printed camera case and tripod. You have a Pi camera. You want to attach it to a tripod. Maybe you want to 3D print your own tripod. This is from Known Pedro. It's a great little printing project for your Pi.
Okay. Next up.
This is a massive tutorial by Timothy Reese. He actually showed this off on a show and tell a couple months ago. We're like, this is an amazing tutorial, and he wrote it up. And it's like basically making an Ableton Live multi-LED button controller. And he has like NeoPixels in the buttons, and it's just like totally cool.
Okay, next up.
And he uses Bluetooth. This is an awesome fiber optic skirt from Erin St. Blaine. She does great costuming and wearable electronics. So she's using our 3-watt Pixie LEDs. These are extremely bright LEDs. And 3D printed a holder for them that lets her put a bundle of fiber optic up against the LED. And if you've ever done stuff with fiber optic, you know that you have to have an incredibly bright LED to light up the fiber optic all the way to the end. Like fiber optic it looks a lot cooler than EL, and you can change the color, but you have to have 3-watt LEDs. And just it's been really hard like to have an integrated 3-watt LED. And you always need a buck converter, and like you have to drive it, and it's confusing. But the Pixie LEDs make this very easy, so she grabbed 5 of them and then 3D printed these holders for the fiber optic effect that you see in the skirt.
And a video.
Ooh.
And so this is about 20 seconds or so of the dress in action. And this is the glowing snow fairy. And there was music behind it, but I don't know where it was from, so I didn't want to get a takedown notice.
I also love like the skirts and the hoops on behind. That's so cool.
Okay, so that's it.
All right, she's always having fun.
Yeah, okay, this is the demo video overview
Press
of
your
the
button.
Press Your Button for Raspberry Pi.
It's a press your luck type game. by Roberto, who's showed off the project a couple times in progress on the show and tell. He did a little write-up. If you want to learn use Java effects for the Raspberry Pi, this is a great demo on how to do that.
Okay. Next up.
A lot of tutorials this week. A tour of the Pi Zero. I wrote this at 2 in the morning. This is a guy on the Pi Zero. Kind of based it off of just looking at a Pi Zero at 2 in the morning and just talking about what is in it and how to use it and what all the connectors are and stuff that'll catch you and like how to get audio out of it if you want to and how to use all the accessories that we sell since the Pi Zero was being released.
Okay. Next up.
This is a guide for the Adafruit Feather M0. We'll be talking about this product soon. It's an ATSEM21D based breakout board it's in the Feather format. It's a format that we're trying to standardize on for little portable USB plus LiPo charging boards, and we're going to have add-ons and stuff so you can mix and match like OLED add-ons or servo add-ons or motor driver add-ons, basically change what you connect to it, and the base board is the same overall shape.
Okay.
This is just a guide showing you the pins and usages and all that stuff.
All right. Next up, it's time to time travel.
Time travel.
Okay. So time travel this week is interesting. Time travel is a look back. Makers, hackers, artists, engineers.
The news that's fit to 3D print.
Yeah. I happen to be a fan of time travel movies. I've seen
You love time travel
all
movies.
of them. There's songs about time travel. There's movies about time travel. I know anything about time travel. I'm really into.
Okay.
When I was a kid, I used to draw time machines
Really?
that I was going to build. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
Like a Calvin and Hobbes kind of action.
yeah,
Transmogrify.
I used to build all these things with magnets, and I thought if I could spin the magnets fast enough. Anyways,
You saw Superman 2.
yeah, that came out when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Awesome.
it didn't have any. You didn't build. So I didn't like that because it was his superpower that he could just go fast. I like the idea of you build a machine with your brain and then you time travel, not because you're just born on the right planet. Krypton kid. So, anyways.
You have a thing against Superman 2.
Yeah.
You
he's-
do. He's a
Yeah. It was like
Sure.
it's like a Batman thing.
Yeah.
Gonna beat him with your mind. Okay. Anyways, so
right.
we're talking about time
travel. Right.
Yeah.
What was it?
So, so time travel is kind of interesting because here's the thing. It's also Arduino news. Can you believe it? It's Arduino
Okay.
news at the same time. So do you know what happened back in 2011? The Uno was introduced.
The Uno, yeah.
And who makes the Unos in the US right now? Adafruit. Yeah, isn't that cool?
That's cool.
That happened. So around December 2nd-ish, 2011. Boy, a lot's changed in 4 years.
Oh boy.
Who would have possibly...
We could have a full show just about what's changed.
Who would have guessed that we would be manufacturing Arduinos? Oh, wait.
You did.
We did, because I had that time machine. See how it all ties together?
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Which
I-
segues into Arduino news.
Yeah. Anyways, that was Arduino
It's
news.
true. You did say, hey, one day we'll be making.
We're going to be making Arduinos. Okay. So wearables. Becky has a video. Yeah, it's wearables time. Becky has a video today. We had our show, of course. Wearable Electronics with Becky Stern. Today, co-hosted with Jessica, Director of Community Support and Publishing.
They're great.
My old job. Now, it's time for the video.
Let's watch this
Let's
video.
watch it.
Welcome to another DIY wearables project. Today we're completely revamping the Firewalker sneakers to be better, lighter, stronger. Coming right up. To reduce the cost of the materials and accommodate a wider variety of shoes, we're going to use a Gemma microcontroller instead of a Flora this time around. Gemma just didn't exist yet when we first made this project. If you're wondering about the differences between the two, we've got a video about just that. You can find a step-by-step tutorial for this project on the Adafruit Learning System. The link is in the description. To sense the motion of your feet, we'll use a vibration sensor. This has a spring inside that closes a switch as it shakes around. The vibration sensor is a very basic switch, and Gemma's digital input can read its state. This is simpler than sensing and calibrating the analog Velostat pressure sensor used in our previous Firewalkers. NeoPixel strip is made of a flex PCB material that's meant to curve around surfaces, but it's not designed to bend laterally. On the original Firewalkers, the bend at the toe was vulnerable. To improve on the original design, let's insert some individual NeoPixels into the line. soldered together with silicone-coated stranded wire. Now the shoe can bend without fatiguing the flex PCB. Cut the sheathing down the back to fit the strip back inside. The last upgrade we'll make over the original Firewalkers is to miniaturize the battery. Alkaline packs are great for beginners, but they're a bit bulky for shoes. But attaching delicate li-poly batteries to your feet can also be risky. So I asked Noe to create a 3D printed pocket for the battery, made from semi-flex filament. Check out his video about how he put it together in 123D Design. Solder and test your custom NeoPixel strip before gluing the strip to your shoes. Use rubber bands to hold the strip in place while the glue dries. After the glue is dry, solder to Gemma and upload the sensor trigger code from the tutorial. Play around with the positioning of the sensor on your shoe until you're happy with the movement that triggers the switch. Sew the battery pocket to your shoe through the holes provided. Be sure to squeeze some E6000 in between the tape at the top of the battery to give the wires some stabilization and strain relief. You can give your circuit some splash resistance by heat shrinking the sensor and painting Gemma with some conformal coating or clear nail polish. How would you make this project your own? Let us know in the comments and show off your own electronics projects on our weekly Show and Tell Hangout on Google+. Thanks for watching, and subscribe for more wearable electronics from Adafruit.
All right, Return to the Firewalkers. That's one of our more popular projects ever. It's one of those things that we see now commercial versions of.
I actually saw it on the site because I was getting the hair dye, because I was getting my hair redone, and they had the LED sticker. I mean, they're not nearly as cool as Firewalkers. They just light up one color.
In New York, there's all these pop-up stores that are like the hoverboard stores, and then like the light-up shoe stores. Like they have, like, that's a holiday gift.
I know, it is funny to see something that Phil B worked on is now.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's now like a kitchen. We're going to see it on Canal Street.
It's cool. Yeah. So once again, don't forget, Wearable Electronics every week, Wednesday, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. 3D printing, tomorrow, International 3D Printing Day. I saw an interesting story in Fortune magazine.
Okay.
It's probably going to be in our New Maker Business newsletter tomorrow.
Okay, but hit me now, because I don't.
Well, it said, what happened with 3D Systems and Stratasys? They lost it. They lost the desktop 3D printing market. What happened? And they go through, and you and I have been talking about this for like 3 or 4 years.
For us, this is old hat.
Fortune's like they're catching up, because for them, they're only concerned with kind of the bigger publicly held companies that own the smaller ones. Yeah. So they basically said it's a fantastic time to be a small 3D printing company.
Interesting.
Cool?
I want to watch this. I want to read this article.
You're gonna, if you're subscribed to the Maker Business newsletter.
I am subscribed, and I'm going to read it tomorrow.
By the way, AdafruitDaily.com is our spam-free, we will never ever do anything with your information newsletter site, because we made something for us because we were tired of everyone spamming us every time we bought something from the site or visited a site or whatever. So you just go to AdafruitDaily.com and you'll be able to see that. So anyways, we have a video with Noah and Pedro. This is the gamepad.
Coming up, we're going to show you how to control your 3D printer with a gamepad. So we've been testing out Octoprint on the Raspberry Pi, and I noticed a pretty neat feature that lets you control the movements of your 3D printer with simple key presses. It's actually called Control Key Mode. This is a feature that was contributed by GitHub user Daniel Nudie that was implemented by Gina in version 1.2. To activate it, all you need to do is go to the Control tab in Octoprint and mouse over the camera preview image. Here, you'll notice there's a little tooltip overlay, and if you click on that little arrow, it'll give you a full breakdown of all the key commands. You can use the arrow keys to jog the X and Y axis of your printer head or printer bed, really depending on what type of printer you have. And if you want to control the Z axis, you can use keys W and S. Since this works with any keyboard, this got me thinking, why not use a wireless keyboard, or better yet, how about our 3D printed Bluetooth gamepad? To learn how to build this little guy, you can check out our tutorial video linked below. It's also in the top right annotation over here. You can also check out our full step-by-step tutorial that's on the Adafruit Learning System. I think this makes a really fun weekend project, and it makes a good first 3D printing DIY electronics project. So if you haven't done one before, this is a really good one. So now let's take a look at some hero shots of us using it. Okay, so not only is it fun to play with, it's actually kind of useful, especially with those printers that don't have onboard LCD controllers. I found it comes in handy most when I'm queuing up prints and when I quickly need to home the printer when I'm away from the keyboard. This doesn't get old. So the only caveat is that your mouse cursor has to be hovering over the camera image in order to be in the key control mode. But this is a new feature, and if you're a programmer, you're totally free to fork the GitHub repo and write some custom code if you want to make it do whatever you want. So there you have it, a pretty fun and useful way to control your 3D printer. If you haven't already, I totally recommend checking out Octoprint. It's a great way to get your printer on your Wi-Fi network. I hope you guys had fun watching this video, and I want to know how you guys control your 3D printer. You can let us know in the comments, or if you have any questions, we'll answer those on our live 3D Hangout show that's on every Thursday. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see more projects, you can check out our playlist, or if you haven't already, subscribe for more weekly projects from all of us here at Adafruit. I'll see you guys next week, but until then, remember to keep on baking.
And that's it. Don't forget, every Thursday, 3D Thursday Hangout with Noah and Pedro Ruiz.
All the 3D print that's fit to print.
Tomorrow is like their birthday because it's like a big day for 3D printers and 3D printing and 3D designers. So it's cool. Anyways.
Wait, who is sponsoring International 3D Printing Day?
I have no idea. I think
it's just they decided.
It's a self-erupting holiday.
Okay.
It's a self-printing holiday. I don't know. Okay. Let's keep moving along. All right. Pi news.
No news.
Nothing's going
Nothing
on.
happened.
Pi. No. We woke up at we just stayed
woke
all the way
up.
Yeah, we just stayed all the way awake. We broadcasted live at 2 a.m. on Thanksgiving, and we helped launch the Pi Zero. So we'll get to what the Pi Zero is in new products. However, there is something special coming up. Tomorrow night at 8 p.m., you are doing a hack chat on Hackaday.
It's a typey chat.
Yeah, it's a typey chat. And if you go to Hackaday, it's the Pi Zero hack chat with Lady Ada. And I rarely ask for favors from the audience, but I'm gonna ask for a favor. Can you guys go there and put nice things in the comments and hang out at the chat tomorrow night? Because I started Hackaday over 10 years ago, and I retired and I gave the site to a group of people. And one of the things that is still getting worked on is the comments and kind of just the general tude there. And like right now, there's some comments on this Hackaday post about how you don't do engineering, you're just a figurehead in a pretty face. And while that's all true, you do engineering, and it'd be cool if our community went in there and just said, hey, like I watch Ask an Engineer all the time. Lady Ada does all the engineering. She works with people. She has a show and tell. There's a great staff at Adafruit. Let's be excellent to each other. That's one of the only things that as the site changed hands, that part didn't get addressed because it's a lot of work to make a good community. So anyways, if all of you could go there and put in some positive vibes, I think we can change the site and just generally the world if we all like find a couple nice things to say about each other. That's all you gotta do every day. Every day. All right, so we're gonna be doing that tomorrow night. It's the hack chat.
I'll be there.
Yeah.
And if you have questions about the Pi Zero, now remember, I didn't design it, but you can ask me some questions about it. I'll have one there. I'll be able to like run commands. I'll have it booted up in Jesse.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll do some power calculations while I'm hanging out.
Yeah.
Okay. You're welcome.
We're going to do this now. It's new product time, Lady Ada. Before we get going for new product, the code is M0. 10% off all the way up to 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. M0.
Okay.
M0. All right, it's new product.
There's a ton of new things.
Let's get this going on.
Let's get this going.
Okay, first up.
It's the new product dance.
What's this?
This is the ALS PT19. I wish I could tell you about it, but since I'm not the designer, I'm just a pretty face. I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. It's actually a very simple breakout. It almost kind of doesn't make tons of sense. It's like, well, why is it just like a photo? It is like a photo transistor and a pull-up resistor, or pull-down resistor. Since CDS photocells have been, they're out of the RoHS exemption, we're looking for more sensors that can basically act like photocells or photo sensors, light sensors that are very low cost and are very similar to how photocels work. And so this is one of the chips that we think is a good alternative. And it is RoHS compliant. So it's basically just a phototransistor. Light shines on it. It does have a little filtering on it, so it it doesn't get affected by IR LEDs. It's close to a human light response curve. It's just a very basic light sensor. We're going to be using a bunch of products in the future that need light sensing.
Okay.
But I thought I'd make a breakout for people who are just interested in trying this out.
Okay.
Just very small. Works
All
from
right.
like 3 to 5 volts.
Okay, next up. Everybody asked for this forever, and now we have it. Resistors.
Yeah, we don't have any more Pi Zeros in stock, but we do have tons of resistors.
Resistors.
You can go and get resistors from DigiKey and Mouser, and if you want a lot, and you want 1%, you want different values, you want different sizes, and different wattages, and you don't, whatever, you want metal film, not carbon, you can go there. The reason we're doing this is that we had a lot of schools and hacker spaces and workshop groups that were like, oh, we want to basically get a bunch of parts from you to do a project pack, but you don't carry any resistors. And we just want to make it very easy for them to be able to say, like, oh, toss in some 10K resistors or some 4.7K resistors or something. Also handy for people who really just want a couple resistors. There's a 3 cents a piece. We sell them in a pack of 25. For 75 cents, but you're pretty much good to go. They're just your general purpose breadboard friendly resistors. And we'll add more values, but I wanted to start with what I thought was kind of the most popularly used set. So we got like the 220 ohm, 470 ohm, 1K, 2.2K, 4.7K, 10K, 22K, 47K, 100K. So we'll add more, but that's kind of like, I want to start with these. These are what we use in our projects. Resistors. This is an adapter cable, and we probably should have carried this years ago, but we have it now. And I'll show this on the overhead. You can also just go forward to the next slide. This adapts something that has a 3.5 millimeter outer diameter, 1.3 millimeter inner diameter DC plug to the more standard 5.5/2.1 millimeter. And normally you don't bump into these, but all of the solar panels from Voltaic have this smaller connector. And that's cool. We're down with that, but you may want to use it with our solar charger. So.
Yeah, I'm going to add a thing here, too.
That's cool. So basically you just plug in this onto the end of the cable, and it gets turned into a DC. Oh, thank you. So these come with this very small DC jack, and if you try to plug this into the jack on the solar charger, like, it doesn't work, but there's no surface mount jacks for this connector. This is why we didn't pick it. It's like, I guess I could have, but it's also, this is more standard. But you can plug this into here, and it's a nice tight fit, and then you plug this into here, and Bob's your uncle. Now you have your solar panel. You don't have to splice anything or cut anything. It's lovely. We finally found a place that has these for a good price. So that's what it is. It's just an adapter.
All right, let's keep moving along. We're getting there. Okay, there's more.
Next up, this is kind of similar as an adapter, and it converts a 2.1 millimeter device to micro USB. And this is useful if you want to plug something that is normally powered from a USB cable and you want to power it from a battery pack or DC jack. It's just very common, again, to get 2.1 millimeter connectors. I mean, in theory, you could try to put this solar panel, I mean, don't do this, but you could put the solar panel, connect to that adapter, connect to this, and plug into your Raspberry Pi. It would probably blow up your Pi, because the solar panel can get up to 7 volts, or might work-ish for a while. Kind of. Again, don't suggest it, but mechanically it'll work. And yeah, it's pretty much, it's just a little adapter. We have a cable version, but we also wanted a little pluggy type. It's very, very handy, especially if you have like a 5-volt adapter and you want to charge a phone or something with a built-in battery. Usually they use a micro USB connector because they're much slimmer than a DC jack.
Okay, moving right along. We got more stuff. This is one of the stars of the show.
Whew.
Besides you. Pi Zero's here.
This is the Pi Zero.
Besides Micro Center, which is in-store purchases, we are the only ones. And let me just clear up something really fast here. Thousands of people have bought their $5 Pi Zero from Adafruit.
Oh yeah, we sold a lot.
Yeah, so
a lot of people wanted them, and a lot of people got them.
There's other companies that you can't buy the Pi Zero alone. There's other companies that charge a bunch of money on top of shipping. Whatever we charge for shipping is shipping, unless it's $200 or more and you're in the US, and we do free shipping.
Yeah.
And anyways, so one of the things though is we ran out of stock very fast. We would put more in, we'd run out of stock. Then we had packs that we made, and so some of those, of course, had a Pi Zero with all the stuff. So we're going to go over those, but just keep in mind, like when someone purchases something for $5, if they're shipping with that, which is whatever the shipping is, it's exactly what we're charged.
Yeah.
That's what it is. We can't.
And we can't put it in an envelope. We have to wrap this in anti-stat, and we have to put it in a box. You don't want to get it as broken, so we do have to box it.
So
that's why we ship in a box.
And
we can't toss an envelope. Stop asking.
And my other favor for people out there, if you're on websites and someone says free, there should always be free shipping. You could do that, but companies who do that go out of business. And you should figure out a business model.
Or they're publicly held.
Or they're publicly held charities like Amazon, where it's going to be subsidized in some way forever until it's not, and then they're going to raise it, and then everyone's going to complain. But anyways, when you see someone say, all shipping should be free or shipping's a ripoff, well, if you subsidize shipping, eventually you go out of business. So we're not China that subsidize outbound as part of their economic strategy. We're not. It's just not possible. And so when you see that, maybe tell people there is fuel costs, there's people costs, there's packaging costs, there's all those things that go in with shipping a package.
Yeah.
So that's my favorite ask of everybody. If you see it,
By the way, we make no money on shipping. We do not make. We actually zero it out. We actually did the math to zero it out. We make no money on
built
shipping.
our own audit system, so we can tell. So when you ship something, just a fun little side note, when you ship something via UPS. If there's fuel surcharges or adjust changes, it's up to $10 or so.
25, are you kidding?
Yeah,
$25.
and so what we do is we do an audit each cycle to make sure that we're always charging the exact amount and we're doing all those corrections all along. And there's companies that do that for you, but they charge hundreds of thousands of dollars. We built our own.
Yeah.
So, anyways.
That's cool.
Anyways, it's
we crunched all the numbers to calculate, because sometimes we undercharge or overcharge, but but very, very rarely.
But right now,
we now
right
audit it so we can figure out did we not do dimensional shipping or something? Anyways, we can talk about shipping forever.
Okay.
Let's talk about this Pi Zero.
Yeah. So, Lady Ada, what are the big features? You want to put it on the overhead? What are the big features of the Pi Zero?
Okay, so I'm actually gonna have a Pi Zero with the header and the case on it, because that's what I've got.
Okay.
I'm gonna zoom in. Can you zoom in a little bit more for me?
Yeah.
Actually, I have one.
We can do this.
I'm gonna leave that there so you can zoom in.
Like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna grab. I have one.
Okay.
I have a bare one here. Hold on. So this is the Pi Zero, and I wrote a pretty long guide and also a video about it, but I'll talk about it again. So the Pi Zero uses the same chip and memory as the Pi B Plus and A Plus. It's the V6 ARM, the ARM V6 core. It runs at 700 megahertz. It's overclocked to 1 gigahertz, and it seems to be just fine. It has 512 megabytes of RAM. There's a micro SD slot, so you can put in an SD card. You need at least a 4 gig card if you're running Raspbian Lite. An 8 gig card is suggested because the new Jessie build is 4.5 gigs, so you do need to have more than a 5 gig card. What's different about it compared to the Raspberry Pi B Plus and A Plus is, of course, it's smaller. Like the Raspberry Pi A Plus is like this big, and then the B Plus has Ethernet ports and USB ports and Ethernet port. This doesn't have that. This doesn't have Ethernet. It doesn't have built-in Wi-Fi. It does have USB, but instead of having a USB-A port, it has this sort of on-the-go port. That's what. It's not actually technically on the go, which is a standard. But hold on, let me just get the adapter from my bin. Sorry, 1 second. Okay, I can't find my. Oh, it's at the bottom. Okay, found it. Instead of having a USB port, to keep it small and low cost, there's a micro USB port, and then use an on-the-go adapter, and now you've got your standard USB port. And likewise, to make the HDMI port small enough so they could make this board like gum stick size, HDMI plug is also mini. So you can get a mini HDMI cable, but we also have these handy little adapters that are HDMI standard to mini HDMI, so you can see the difference in size. Like it looks like a standard HDMI, but it's actually like much thinner and smaller than standard. So if you don't need HDMI, then you don't plug it in. But if you do, then that's how you get video and audio out. You can get digital audio out that as well. There's also NTSC TV, NTSC or PAL TV available. You have to solder onto it. Those pads that say TV out. And that's kind of it. It's very basic. It's a single-sided board, which is kind of neat. And they don't solder in the headers. So, that's kind of like, it could be a pro, it could be a con. If you want to plug in hats, and it will work with any Pi hats, you need to solder in a header like this. So this is a 2x20 male header, and we introduced these in the show last week, and we're like, we just have these headers. I don't know why. They're just in the store, and it's just like because in 2 hours we're releasing the Pi Zero. So if you solder this in, now you can plug in any kind of hat or Pi TFT or connect to the GPIO. However, what we kind of like is that you don't have to solder in this header. You can actually kind of get a little creative. Like, for example, you can solder in a right angle female socket header like this, and then you can plug it into a Pi cobbler like this, and you kind of have this sort of neat, like, all-in-one computer that's plugged into your breadboard, and you get all the GPIO, and so you can basically do a project using a full computer like on your breadboard. So I thought that was kind of neat, and it's not a big deal to solder in the 2x20 header, and desoldering it is really annoying. So for people who want to do wearable projects or like portable projects, the power draw is not that high because it doesn't have that USB port or Ethernet port, and some people did some math, and you can basically get it down to like 100 or so milliamps of current. I think with HDMI it's about 300 total. And yeah, it's basically a small, lightweight Raspberry Pi. Zero, I think for Zero is because it's minimal. I mean, this is like the fixie of Raspberry Pi computers. If you took away anything, it wouldn't work anymore.
It's the fixie of Raspberry Pi computers. That's cool.
Yeah.
We'll get that on the t-shirt or something.
Okay, well, you always say that, so I stole that from you.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
So that's the Pi Zero. And check out the guide because I have a ton more
let's,
about it there.
We're running a little late, so
okay, sorry,
let's quickly...
whoa, the time went.
Yeah, so we have some starter packs when they're in stock that have everything you need if this is like one of your first Raspberry Pis, or if you just want to have everything just ready to go out of the box. So, comes with a bunch of stuff. Adapter cables, cobblers, headers. You want it. We've got it.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's here. And then we also have a budget pack.
Yep, this is kind of the minimal pack. We wanted to make sure that people had the option of getting a pack with kind of like really the minimal amount of stuff. Like you need to have a good power supply, an 8 gig card, 2 options for header, and then those cable adapters. So we will be getting more Pi Zeros in, and sign up, and we will notify people. Please note they go very, very fast. As in, like, we'll put in a couple hundred. Like, we had to slow it down because we couldn't
tossing cotton candy into a volcano. It just poof. They go away instantly.
Yeah, we actually couldn't put in all of the Pi Zeros we got because the shipping department wouldn't be able to handle that many orders. So we were putting in a couple hundred at a time every few hours, and they would be just gone in like 2 minutes. So sign up, but be ready, and we'll get more.
Let's keep going.
We're moving.
Next up, we got a case.
We have the case. I showed that off. It's a lovely little acrylic protector.
Yeah.
You put on your Pi, and it just protects your Pi while leaving all the ports available. It's very cute.
All right, so let's go through this. And we made sure it works with our accessories that we have. It's super cute.
Designed by Phil B.
Fun.
Paint Your Dragon.
Designed by Phil B. And there it is with the cobbler.
Yep.
Okay.
That's it.
Next up, we have the feather doubler. Double feather.
Double feather. So this is a very handy little thing for people who are using the feather boards. So this is compatible with all feathers and all of the feather wings. So for example, here's a preview of a NeoPixel feather wing that may or may not be coming out. Don't ask. And you can plug in, you have a prototyping area with it, but you can also plug in, without using stacking headers, you can plug in, a wing
Did I skip ahead?
and a header.
Yeah, I'm just going to go to the overhead.
Just go to the overhead. Yeah, it's fine. You just put it together, and then you can use stacking headers as well, but you get a full prototyping area, and you can plug this in like so, and then you can plug and play different add-ons, and of course you still get that prototyping area. And then if you used stacking headers, you can have. If you use stacking headers, you can add more feather wings on top, or you can stack under as well. But I thought this is kind of a nice way to just sort of add capabilities, and it's still not that large.
Okay.
So cute. So it comes as a little kit.
Next up, I'm excited about this.
Yep. This is the Wi-Fi 101, finally.
From Arduino.cc.
Arduino.cc. This
Yes,
is
the real deal.
The new Wi-Fi 101 shield uses the Wink 1500 SSL capable Wi-Fi chip. This is actually a very nice chip. I played with it quite a bit. It's very stable, much more stable than the CC3000. It supports the client interface. It's very easy to code. It's very fairly priced. And again, it supports SSL. And so if you're trying to connect to, it has its own storage for certificates inside of it that are uploaded to it already. So you basically have the capability of connecting to secure sites.
Okay, and last up tonight,
With
the
security.
star of the show, besides you, besides Pi Zero, besides the Arduino Wi-Fi Shield 101, is, you guessed it,
Feather M0.
another feather. It's
We're
the
gonna try
Feather M0.
Do a feather a week, and this week's feather is the Feather M0 Basic. So we already have the Feather 32U4 Basic, and we have the Feather Huzzah. This one uses the new ATSAM21D G18 chip from Atmel. This is also the chip featured in the Arduino Zero. And so it has support in the Arduino IDE, but it's a really awesome chip. It's a Cortex M0 processor. It runs at 48 megahertz, it's 32-bit address width. It's got like 256K of flash and like 32K of RAM. It's got all these GPIO. It has a DAC pin on it. It's got tons of ADCs, PWMs. It's basically like super fast, has tons of memory, and is not that much more expensive than the 32U4. It's kind of about the same price. And so we're really excited to offer the Feather, which is our, again, standard layout for all the pins that you'd want to use with this chip. We put this chip in the middle there. It comes with a real-time clock crystal, a 32 kilohertz crystal for low clock rate, low power usage, and you can adjust the clock dynamically on the fly, which is kind of neat thing about the Cortex M0 Pluses. Okay. Has a reset switch, has a built-in battery charging, LiPo charging, so you basically plug it into a micro USB, you can charge the battery and reprogram and do USB serial with the chip. It has the USB serial capability built in. So it's a really nice upgrade to the 32U4. If you like the 32U4, you're going to really, really like this chip. It has even more of everything you love.
Okay, and that, Lady Ada, is new products. Congratulations, you did it. You got through it.
I did it.
You did it.
Yay.
That's new products.
Okay.
All right. Okay. A couple little odds and ends here. Don't forget. Oops. Oh, that wasn't good. Code is M0. All the way up to 1159.
M0.
Yeah.
So the funny thing is the M0 is for the M0 Feather as well as the Pi Zero.
Yeah, not really doing it. I want to do that.
Right.
All right. So
10% off everything in the Adafruit store that's in stock, including gift certificates and software.
Yeah.
Until 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time.
Okay, so let's speed round up some questions.
Absolutely.
So
Line them up. I'm knock them out.
You got questions?
Ask questions.
Post up in the chat. We'll answer your questions. All right. First up is cutting and pasting so much stuff. Oh, you got the radio working.
Yeah.
That's cool. So do you want to go to the overhead and or do
Yeah.
you want to show it?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
So I plugged in the Heathkit. Oh, yeah, I want to zoom in. So I plugged in these powered speakers that we stock in the store and plugged into the headphone jack, and then they're just powered off of USB. I just grabbed a power boost really fast. There's AM talk radio.
It works.
Well, they're talking about the shooting. I don't
I guess AM radio
find
is
something not
about politics. right?
depressing.
Yeah.
It's an ad. There's a lot of AM talk radio.
Okay,
No music.
here we go. Are
Okay.
all the feathers going to be 3-volt, 3v3 to minimize compatibility issues?
Yep, so
3.3
far
is the new
all the
5.
feathers are going to be 3.3 volts, and all the feather wings are going to be 3.3 volts, and we'll do level shifting as necessary. Pretty much all the sensors and stuff that we're using is 3.3 volt. For the NeoPixel wing, there's a little shifter that shifts it up to 5
Okay.
volts for you.
Next up, will there be more videos of Lady Ada gaming? Yes. Lady is playing Fallout right now. And
I'm also playing designing circuit boards and putting together the Heathkit, which took me 4 hours, so we did that.
Yeah.
We'll get back to Fallout.
You're playing Fallout, and then what level are you up on Candy Crush?
I'm on level like 1100 and something.
Okay. All right.
But I can't stream that.
Yeah.
Because there's no video.
Someone wants to know, is there a subreddit on Reddit for Adafruit? Yes.
There is.
Check it out. Let's see. Lady Ada had a ham radio license. Let's see. I bought a Zero LiPo and Pi Zero. Is there any way to get battery charge feedback?
Oh, sorry, which one? The best thing to use, because the Pi Zero doesn't have any analog digital converters, is pick up something like the INA 219, which is an I2C battery voltage and current measurement thing, and put that in line with the battery. And that way you can measure both the voltage and the current. Okay,
next up. Do you sell the big mail headers, like 20 to 30 pins?
Yep, we do in the store. If you look if you search for headers, we have male, female, right angle, non-right angle, dual, single strip in packs.
Okay. Let's see. Can I use the FM radio breakout to broadcast AM to? Is there any easy way to broadcast AM radios like to the Heathkit if you want to broadcast to it?
No, that kit is only FM, and I don't know of any AM kits. I mean, there's definitely schematics online to transmit AM. It's not that difficult to transmit, but it's just rare. Most people want to transmit FM because you get stereo, and of course you get the ability to transmit. Like, music doesn't sound good on AM, basically.
Okay, Feather SAMD21 versus Teensy 3X versus Teensy LC. Which one should I use? Boy.
You really have to look at the stats for each. The SAMD21 is going to be closest to the Teensy LC. They're both Cortex M0. I think the Teensy 3.X is like the M3 or M4, so it's going to be more powerful. The Feather comes in the Feather pinout. I mean, if that's valuable for you and you don't need M3 capabilities, it could be good. I mean, it has built-in battery charging, which the Teensy doesn't. That's kind of where I'm going with Feather. It's not only the standard layout, so all of the wings will work with it, but it has built-in battery charging, which I noticed people were getting a lot of the battery charging backpacks and attaching them to our boards. And I'm like, okay, I should just add it in.
Okay. Can you use a Feather for wearable projects, or would the Gemma be a better choice?
The Feather could be a very good choice for wearables if you're comfortable with having a LiPo battery attached. Basically, we don't have LiPo charging on the Gemma on purpose because we want to keep it small and simple, and also let people use alkaline batteries, which are better for beginners. But if you're kind of a more advanced person and you can handle LiPoly batteries safely, then yeah, it's a good alternative. It's not round.
Okay.
Maybe you don't care.
All right. Next up. Will there be more Circuit Playground videos? Yes, absolutely. Working on some. What do you like more, the Pi Zero or the chip? Well, someone did a comparison. We don't have the chip yet.
I don't have the chip, so I don't want to judge.
Yeah, we can't say anything yet.
The nice thing about the Pi Zero is it does have like these 4 years of projects that for the Pi B+, A+, and Pi 2 that many of them will just work, and so that counts for a lot because having tutorials that exist is great.
They're cheap enough where you can get both.
That's true.
Next up, will there be live monsters video? Yeah, we're gonna have the cat when we do the
cat shows up.
data.
The cat shows up when he's around and we finish the video. If the cat is ready to be victimized, I will pick him up and I will show him to the camera.
How much will the Arduino Wi-Fi chip be? Also, can I connect it to my Wi-Fi and control it with my phone?
You can. Okay. Yeah, you can definitely have the Wi-Fi 101 be a server and you connect to it with your phone as like an HTTP and then your IP address, and people definitely do that all the time.
Yeah. Looking to start a project which involves shooting targets with a laser where 2 users will try to shoot the most targets within a specified time. Do you know any sample project to start from? Yeah. Go and search for open source laser tag, because I think someone rebuilt laser tag using a bunch of off-the-shelf stuff that you can just do.
They did. I remember they had sound effects. They used a wave shield.
Yeah, because they were like, I want to bring back laser tag. Okay. And then let's see here. We're done.
Okay.
Good work. I have to check like 80 different questions for this. Will you stock some of the Pi pockets designed by your 3D guys. Oh,
Really, what server?
the Lipoly pockets designed by Noah and Pedro. No, you have to print them out. We're not going to stock the physical models.
You can just sew pockets out of any like neoprene fabric.
Yeah.
It's not like just kind of pocket out.
Yeah. Okay. All right, that was it. We did get to all of them.
Yay.
Okay, a little reminder, don't forget M0's code. We're running over a couple minutes late, but that's okay. We had a big show. Before we do the trivia. Oh, you really got this going on.
It's a game.
Yeah. This is, in case you're wondering, this is really working.
Sorry.
No, sir. Let's do the trivia question.
Okay.
What are the rules?
Rules are if you've won anything from this show before, you can't win again, only one winner per lifetime. Do not type the answer into the chat if you've already won.
Yeah.
If you've already won, let somebody else win and like don't tell them the answer. This is a trivia question. You're supposed to.
What do you want to give away?
They're going to get a Feather M0 and a Raspberry Pi Zero.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a pretty big deal.
Look, it's only $5.
Okay. Wow.
So you get one of each. You get a Feather M0 and a Raspberry Pi Zero. One of each.
Okay.
Remember, only if you've never won from this show before.
Okay.
I see all.
Okay. I'm gonna zigzag here. So on Time Travel Tuesday, we celebrated the anniversary of when the Uno was introduced. What year? What year was the new Uno introduced? And we just put it on our time travel site. So it's a year I'm looking for, and we'll see who types it in first.
I remember.
I know you remember.
I was paying attention.
Yeah. So, and we'll see who gets it in here first. So, congratulations, C Jones, 1025C, and Twitch.
Yay!
You won. Okay, C Jones 1025C, email support@adafruit.com and tell them that you won product ID 2818, which is the Raspberry Pi Zero.
I don't have the
And
wait. Yeah, I don't have the M0.
you don't have it with you?
Oh no, sorry. It's a 2772.
Do you have the product?
Yes, I do.
All right. And then also C Jones 1025. Tell them it's on Phil's desk. No, seriously.
It's gonna be on Phil's desk.
It's gonna be on Phil's desk.
Okay.
So
There you go.
what'll be magic because you're gonna get these.
Those two. Those exact
Yes,
two.
Email support.
Those are some of the last Pi Zeros available.
Email support@adafruit.com. Can you write the word prize on that?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's it. That's the show for tonight, folks.
Thank you.
Thanks for everybody playing along tonight. Thank you so much for all of your support. Remember, we are loan-free, venture capital-free, funding-free. We're all supported by you, our viewers, our customers, our community. We'll see some of you tomorrow night. If you go to hackaday.com right now, run in, post in the comments, tell all the haters that she's more than a pretty face. She's an engineer. That'd be kind of nice. I think
Don't watch the last video where I had a head cold and I couldn't remember like the degenerated common emitter amplifier
I think some people
calculation.
don't want to believe that there's someone this cool. So anyways,
It's cool.
yeah. Thank you, everyone.
I don't care what you think as long as it's about me.
Yeah, good lyric from an excellent Nirvana tune.
That's
don't
tomorrow.
Forget, don't forget next week, show and tell, Ask an Engineer. Wednesday's always big days.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Doing more Desk Lady 8S?
Yeah. Thank you all the Adafruit team members. We've been working a bunch to ship all the packages. Thank you everyone out there.
Thousands of Pi Zeros have been shipped. Thousands.
Thank you everyone out there. We'll keep doing this if you keep watching. So thank you so much. Here is MOSFET, and here is your moment of Zener. See you guys next week.